The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. Tonight in Orlando, Jalen Brunson and the Knicks muscled their way past the pesky Magic, taking control in the third quarter and not looking back. Knicks playing excellent defense. The Magic held to 85 points. That ties for the Knicks' best defensive effort of the year. Mikal Bridges a steal and 2 of his 17. And the Knicks in Orlando beat the Magic 108-85. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pidto along with Wally Szczerbiak. So, Wally, the Knicks have won 6 in a row. They're 16-4 in their last 20, and they're finding different ways to win games. 15 threes attempted for the Knicks. That's the low for any team in the entire league all year, and yet they won easily.
Take what the defense gives you. That's what great teams do. That's what you don't just play a system to try to beat someone from the three-point line. If the defense is taking away the threes, shoot 61% from the twos in the first half. That's what the Knicks did. Then completely suffocate the Orlando Magic, who are very undermanned. They could not find scoring. And then in that third quarter, the Knicks just dominated that third quarter, only giving up 14 points. I mean, this Magic team has Jalen Suggs, he's a bona fide starter, and then most of the other guys are role players. And as a result, it's tough to play for 48 minutes against a really good Knicks team, and you saw that the Magic completely ran out of gas in the second half.
Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, Orlando's top 2 players, both out. They've been out long-term, but Orlando puts forth maximum effort night in and night out. They just couldn't score, and they really couldn't get anything going, as you mentioned, Wally, in the third quarter. It was tight at the half. Knicks blew it wide open after that.
Yeah, it was a very grindish type game. It was almost like the Knicks couldn't get those couple buckets to get a little bit of separation, but you just felt like once they played like themselves, which they did in that third quarter, and a couple shots would go down, and they got themselves to a 5-8 point lead. That Achua putback made it a 2-point game, that Orlando was just going to fall apart. And that's exactly what happened. Jalen Brunson just doing his thing, master of the mid-range all night long. When the Knicks got those stops, I alluded to only 14 points in the third quarter for the Magic. It led to runouts, it led to buckets, the lead's starting to swell. 5 right now. How about beast mode? Jalen Brunson gets that one to go, flexes at the official and the fans. 9-point lead at this point. And then Josh Hart, he was all over the place in that third quarter. Josh Hart saying, hey, you think you play hard, Orlando Magic? I'm the hardest playing guy on the court, and he showed it tonight.
All right, again, the Knicks only 15 threes attempted, 34 free throws attempted, a season high for the Knicks. They only made 24 of those, but they capitalized nonetheless. And look at points in the paint, 60 for the Knicks, 34 for Orlando. We're now bringing Alan Hahn, help call the game with Kenny down in Orlando. Alan, what's your headline here? How about the Knicks? We've talked about it. You and Kenny talked about it. Only 15 threes attempted. That's the fewest for any team in any game all year, and yet the Knicks won easily.
Yeah, my headline would be, who said they take too many threes in the NBA? It's not the only way you can win. The Knicks proved that certainly tonight. They were running them off the line. The Magic knew that he cannot let this team get up threes. We see what the Knicks can do when they make 12 or more threes in a game. Their record is like 17-3 this season. So you wouldn't let them do that. So the Knicks said, okay, fine, we'll take it into the paint. We'll do that with you. Then they start drawing fouls because that's what the Magic do. Knicks got to the free throw line, 34 free throw attempts. Bit of a struggle. Bit of a struggle from the free throw line for sure, but getting there was important. But I'm also talking about the defense guys in that third quarter, because the Knicks really turned it up defensively and really started creating those turnovers. And what they did with them is the story of the game. 24 points off 17 Orlando Magic turnovers and 19 fast break points. So when they were getting the rebound, they were running, because this team played last night. And while you know the Magic play hard, there's only so much gas in the tank in a back-to-back, and the Knicks will certainly learn that tomorrow night in Washington.
Alan, let's talk about the most important stat on this stat sheet. Now the Knicks are 21-10, and Orlando is 19-14, 4 games behind the Knicks in the loss column. This is a team that was off to a great start to start the season. Everyone was thinking the Magic are going to be the new team that's going to be competing for the playoffs. Obviously very injury-ridden right now, but you can't feel sorry for these guys. You got to continue to put them in your rearview mirror.
They're playing him maybe at the right time of year, right, Wally, when you consider that they saw him 3 times this month and they get 3 wins. So you already have the season series in your pocket in case there's any kind of tiebreakers. I was saying this to one of the Magic people before the game, is that this is going to be a team that when they get healthy with Banchero back and the Wagner brothers back, they will not be a team anybody wants to play, because you see how hard they play and what they do. And they get those 2 All-Stars back, forget about it. So late in the season, certainly a team to watch. But for the Knicks, don't have to worry about it because they are very much in the rearview mirror.
All right, Alan, we'll see you tomorrow night in Washington. You going to take care of me or what? You going to take care of me?
I'm looking for you when you get in. You owe me lunch.
That's not true. That's not true at all. We'll sort that out tomorrow. We'll see you down in D.C. Josh Hart, what a game.
What a performance.
23 points, 13 rebounds, 7 rebounds alone in that third quarter.
Season high, 23 points. He was all over the place. And I think he really took this game personally. He sees how Orlando Magic is known as this gritty, grindy, defensive, kind of physical type team. And Josh Hart just said, this is my kind of game. Look at that look. He's looking at the official like, seriously? I mean, Josh Hart was getting knocked around. He was on the ground just as much as Jalen Suggs. And Josh Hart loves that type of game. Officials, I thought, did a great job of keeping this game clean, because Orlando can get called for a foul every time down the floor. But I thought the officials really made the right calls at the right time. They cleaned this game up very well. And they allowed Josh Hart to play with his emotion, his energy, his physicality. This is the type of player that the Knicks need on their squad. You need a guy that's going to impose their will physically and match the other team's intensity when teams like this come in. And a guy like Josh Hart, the way he plays, it's so crucial in playoff-type moments and atmospheres, because that's how you win playoff-type caliber games against playoff teams like the Magic, with physicality.
All right, when we come back, we'll be at the Wally Wall breaking down some key sequences from tonight's game. We'll also hear from Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau. Knicks have won 6 in a row, also 6 wins in a row on the road. They're now 21-10 overall. Stay with us.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Welcome back. The Knicks in Orlando were tied at 54 at the half. Second half, all Knicks as they win 108-85. Back now from the corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. So the Knicks will close out 2024 with 2 games at Washington, Saturday and then Monday. Pre-game each night, 6:30, game each night at 7, and then the Knicks are back home on New Year's night to take on the Utah Jazz. Time now to listen to the Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau. His post-game comments, as always, presented by Chase.
Just, the physicality of the game. We knew it would be that way, and, just adapt to it. And then I thought, we got our defense going pretty good in the second half. So, the rebounding was good, the defense was good, and then, when we did turn it over, which obviously you don't want to do, but I thought we hustled and we didn't give points up off those turnovers. So I think that was important as well. And then we had a number of guys like Josh and Jalen were fantastic, and Mikhail giving us what he gives us, so it's good.
You say with a game like that where it's choppy and physical, is that sort of what Josh flourishes in? Yeah, I mean, it's I think our team does, and so that's, Cat likes a physical game. Jalen loves a physical game. I think those guys are physical. Josh is physical. Mikhail is like, people don't realize how wiry strong he is. And he loves contact, and he loves playing in the paint. And so, and OG's the same way. And then, you go to bench guys. Deuce loves physicality. Precious loves the physicality. Cam loves so that's the way we have to play. I thought Landry gave, first time back, gave us good minutes too.
When people talk about Josh, they like to just put like the energy label on him. He seems like a guy that just makes basketball simple. How valuable is that for a guy that just does all the right things the right way at the right time? And again, it's we need consistency from him.
on every game. You know, when we get that, it's going to be good.
Coach, you guys continue to improve the way that you guys are playing in the road. 11-6 now in the road and 10-4 at home. What is the reason of the chemistry that you guys are getting right now at this point of the season?
Yeah, and we, obviously we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. I think the important thing for us is, daily improvement. And so don't lose sight of that. And, if we have a good game, understand what we have to correct and try to improve the next game. Don't change, don't get away from that. I think we're a lot better today than we were at the beginning of the season. But we also know we got a long way to go, and there's a lot of things that we have to do better.
Also, I think this is the sixth game in a row, winning in a row. So how difficult is it to play back-to-back games, you guys, tomorrow?
But that's the beauty of the league. If you love competition, that's what you embrace, and you love that. Like, what's our next challenge? Like, so that we're already thinking about what we know how we're going to have to play. Washington's playing well, and we got to be ready. And so what goes into winning is always the same. And like sometimes I think it oftentimes gets misguided where people, they talk about the will to win. It's not really the will to win, it's the will to prepare to win. And if you get yourself ready the right way, you're going to be consistent. If you don't get yourself ready the right way, you're going to be up and down. And so whatever the challenge is, embrace it and prepare yourself well.
It's been a few games now when Cat's gotten in early foul trouble. What are you seeing there? Is there something he needs to be doing differently?
Yes and no. I mean, I think there's good aggressive fouls, and then there's fouls that obviously are cheap that you have to clean up. And so I think that's the important thing, is for him to understand the difference between the two and how's it being called. And I think discipline is probably the most important thing. And we want the contact, but we also want it to be done with intelligence. And I think that's a big part of physicality. It's a big part of winning. And what are the officials looking for? He's been around long enough to know there's things that they're looking for that trigger calls, right? So be disciplined, the verticality being one of them, setting screens, and that's twofold, because oftentimes that's partly the responsibility of the ball handler, setting up the screening angle, so the two go hand in hand. And I think the more time that we have together as a team, the better we're going to get at that. I thought Deuce made a really good play late. It was off movement. Cat set a good screen. He rolled down the lane, and the spacing was good. He got out of the screen perfectly. And when he does that, he's going to pull so many people with him. And then the corner three-point shooting opens up the roll to the rim. But the pass was great. The screen was great. And I think anytime that, a screen is an act of unselfishness, so it creates an advantage. And when we can create advantages, we're going to get a good offense. We have guys who can score the ball. And so create as many advantages as we can and play as a team.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yes.
Got to be very happy, Coach. Emphasizing preparation, that's going to be important, because they're going to be arriving late into D.C. tonight to play the Wizards. And that's something. Do you think he's using that as motivation? Hey, we're going to have a real challenge getting to Washington. Does he use that, you think, as motivation to get themselves ready for the lowly Wizards tomorrow night? Yeah,
you have to mentally get yourself ready. A quick turnaround, getting off a flight. The coaches do a great job of preparing the players with film, and the players will watch some film to prepare for individual players. But this is where it's so valuable to have experienced players on your roster, because they have played games against Washington. They've seen a lot of teams in the NBA, so they're already familiar with what they're going to be going up against in these Washington Wizards tomorrow night. The coaches will button up everything up, but the experience that the Knicks have on this roster is very valuable in back-to-back situations when you don't have a lot of time to prepare. Orlando came to this game best D in the whole league. It's the Knicks who held Orlando to only 85 points. Tying for the best Knicks defensive performance all year. They only gave up 31 points to Knicks in the second half. 31 points. Precious Achiuwa, a nice sequence, nice block.
kind of exemplifying what we saw.
We're gonna check out some defensive plays at the Wally Wall, because that was the theme in the second half, like Bill said. This was the third quarter when the Knicks shut down the Magic, held them to only 14 points. Look at this scramble mode. Look at this getting over the screen here. Freeze it there. Now here's Precious Achiuwa. He's doing a good job of playing kind of center field. The offensive dribbler here has that lane a little bit, and here comes Wendell Carter crashing to the basket, and it looks like he has a dunk on this play. But what does Precious Achiuwa do? He does a great job of getting back and closing down the little bit of room. And this is why he's so valuable, Bill, because of his ability to move his feet as a big man. He is so good at closing down space and moving his feet. Here comes the pass over to Wendell Carter. Now look, he's beat there. I mean, it looks like this is a wide open dunk, but he's so fast and mobile as a 6'8", 6'9" big man, and he's a quick jumper too. The quick jump here is what gives him the ability to not commit a foul and still get up there and block that dunk. That is an incredible athletic defensive play that you cannot teach as a coach. That is just great instincts and great talent on the defensive end of the floor.
Knicks forced 17 turnovers, and they turned the 17 turnovers into 24 points. Mikal Bridges with an example.
Yeah, Mikal Bridges always playing the passing lanes. He's got that big, long wingspan, so he can really get deflections and create a lot of turmoil and havoc, just like OG Anunoby does. But look at the ball pressure by the Knicks on this possession. This is a great job. Queen has the ball up top. Brunson kind of gets beat there. Freeze it there. Look at Mikal Bridges. He's got his buddies back. He's in the gap here, ready to help. And as Queen gets in here, he tries to get the ball over to Cole Anthony. The long arms of Mikal Bridges come out, they get the deflection, and it leads to an easy transition bucket. This is really good help defense. Brunson trying to apply pressure. Jalen Suggs, when he was out of the game, you could really tell that Orlando struggled to get the ball up the floor and struggled to run offense. Here comes Mikal Bridges, sees that telegraphed pass, gets his hands in the lane. One dribble, long strides, long arms, easy two, demoralizing plays for the Orlando Magic because they don't have the firepower to get back in a game when they're down 15, which that possession and that play extended the lead to 15 points.
Bridges had 17. Suggs picked up his fifth foul. The game was close. Suggs came out, and then the Knicks poured it on and ended up running away with the easy win in Orlando. Up next, the MSG 150. We got the Celtics and the Pacers, a rematch of last year's playoff matchup. Not close tonight. The tale's coming up. To Washington tomorrow night and Monday night. We'll see you tomorrow night, 6:30 pregame, game at 7. Knicks win big in Orlando tonight. Cat with 16. Here he is now after the game.
Do my job first, take out the ones that I can handle, the other ones, that's up to God. that ain't up to me. I mean, I've been told every possible way I'd be getting one, so it is what it is. What's the good thing about this? We're winning.
How do you feel the team's offense in this first 31 games of the season, closing this year, with a back-to-back game tomorrow against the Washington Wizards?
We're doing a good job. Right now we're scoring. One of the best offensive teams in the NBA, so we're doing our part. We're giving ourselves a chance to win every night. I think we're doing a good job, especially, I think when we're allowed to be physical, that's when we're at our best. So doing a good job when, we get that chance, that opening to be physical on defense. We're doing a great job about capitalizing on our opportunities, getting stops, getting turnovers, and then we translate them to points. So doing a good job. Today even, we had how many turnovers? We had like 16, 19. And they only gave up 10 points off of them. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. If you're going to turn the ball over, make sure you get back. And we're doing a good job.
So I got one more question about the foul stuff. How much does it throw you off your rhythm when you're, in and out like that? It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm just, like I said, the best thing about it, we're winning. That's all that matters at the end of the day. They could try. We're doing everything we can to win.
Second straight game, Cat slowed down by foul trouble. Knicks prevail anyway. Jalen Brunson, 26 points to lead the Knicks. We're going to get his post-game comments after this. Tomorrow night, the Knicks are in the nation's capital to take on the Wizards. Pre-game at 6:30, game at 7. Knicks beat Orlando tonight. Jalen Brunson led the way with 26. There now is the Knicks captain.
Jalen, big part of the game is when Suggs picked up his 5th foul in the 3rd quarter. When he's playing so physical, does it just keep taking it at him? Is that kind of just the plan?
The plan is just to honestly just see what the defense is doing and just find a way to attack it. And obviously he had a foul trouble, so he's a key factor for them. So we just had to attack him and see what he was going to do. And got his 5th foul, and yeah, it kind of changed the way of the game. We were able to get some more stops, get some easy buckets, and kind of ran away with it.
The team had 10 steals tonight, only allowed 31 points against the mat, gave up 31 points. What can you say about the way the defense is performing right now?
I mean, today it was great, but I mean, we can't be satisfied. Things like this need to translate over to the next game and then move on from there. And it's important for us to continue to stay consistent, and that's what we're working at.
They have been rolling 6 wins in a row and 16 wins in the last 20 games. Knicks win at 108-85. We will wrap things up after this. All right, so the Knicks are at Washington Saturday. They are at Washington for the last game in 2024 on Monday. New Year's night, they host Utah, and in January, the Knicks will play 15 games. 11 will be at home. 2 of the road games at OKC Friday on the 3rd and at Chicago on January the 4th. Knicks blow out the Magic in the second half and win tonight 108-85. We'll see you tomorrow night from Washington. We will be in Washington for the pregame show at 6:30. Game comes your way at 7. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Plus, now on the Gotham Sports app. Want more than just a post-game show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.